Welcome once again to Inside Rangers Football. I'm your host, Brant Freeman, as always joined by Rangers head coach Larry Hill. Smithson Valley coming off a win in the home opener this past Friday over Pflugerville Hendrickson, 43-15. We'll recap that game as well as look ahead to this Rangers' next game this coming Thursday in a short week as they face Madison in San Antonio. But first, Coach, yes, let's look back at the win over the Hawks from this past Friday in the home opener. And you were coming off a loss the week before against Midland Lee. But looking back at this game this past Friday, pretty impressive after a very tight game early. It was back and forth. You found yourself down 15-14. From that point on, though, it was all Smithson Valley. What were your takeaways from the game?
Well, I thought we improved as the night went. You know, we got off to a quick start offensively, but like you said, for a while there, we kind of got into our turn, your turn, our turn, your turn. But then I thought we steadied the water. We limited their explosive plays. We stopped their run, which was a big goal of ours coming into the game, and then we established the run. And once we did, then I thought that opened up some deep ball opportunities for our passing game, and just smooth the waters a little bit. I thought we played better in the kicking game. We didn't play poorly the week before, but more impactful plays this week in the kicking game, and put it all together. And great opening game, home opening crowd, and great atmosphere. Put it all together. It's a great night for Ranger football.
You referenced your ability to run the football over 300 yards rushing for you. You had 3 players rush for 90 yards or more from this past Friday. But as well as your skill position players were in that regard, the offensive line, I felt like, started to overwhelm Hendrickson as the game progressed.
I thought as the night went, they just continued to establish themselves. And I don't know if dominate's the right word, but as the game went on, they just wore on them a little bit. And Jacob Fortone, who we've mentioned before, has the ability to wear you down. And I thought that made things a little bit better for Greg Eggleston. And, Gabe Hoskins came in and had some nice runs. As the game went on, those 2 and 3 and 4 yard games began to be a little bit more 7 and 12s, and some of them even more than that. So that's who we need to be. That's who we want to be. And it was nice to see it work out last Friday. You
alluded to the explosive plays that you had. You averaged more than 8 yards per play from this past Friday. Very impressive. But you also managed to score every now and then on those long, methodical drives as well.
Right.
What does it tell you about the offense when you're able to score in both manners?
Well, I think you need to. You certainly need some big chunk plays, because particularly with our schedule and the people that we play, to think you'll always line up and go 8, 10, 12 play drives 4 or 5 times through the night might be a little naive. You need that, though, to keep your defense off the field, to wear down the opponent. Then you need to show some quick strike, and we didn't do a lot of that week 1, had 1 or 2, but the other night we got some of that too. And to be able to have them both rocking the same night, it's what you hope for.
While your offensive line, again, I felt like overwhelmed Hendrickson as the game progressed defensively as well. Once Hendrickson took that 15-14 lead, your defense said no more. I felt as if the game also moved on. Your defense started to overwhelm Hendrickson's offensive line front and defended well in the perimeter on top of that. What stood out to you the most about the defense?
Well, I think we stopped the run. Just kind of not that they were running the ball real effectively in the first half, but ran it enough and frustrated us some. And then they got the one-play scores, the throws up the field. Thought our secondary took that away, forced them to run the ball, and I thought our defensive front played very, very well, and they couldn't. Then they were shut down both ways.
Now, you also brought this up earlier, and that was the great crowd at Ranger Stadium, especially from the students. I thought that was one of the better turnouts that we've ever seen at Ranger Stadium. What was your impression of the game day atmosphere your crowd provided you this past Friday?
Well, it's outstanding. Our players understand that they're very fortunate to play at Smithson Valley, where we do have such great support. And for a home opener, it was pretty full, as you said, real full. And that student section, that mentality just seems to grow and get better and better with each passing game each year. And they were a factor in the game. Our players noticed it, and I think the Hendrickson players noticed it.
Again, Smithson Valley, a big win from this past Friday. Let's now break down some of the big plays for the Rangers in this week's Plays of the Week.
Let's take a look. Our first play of the week is a kickoff play, a special teams play. Just a great team effort here. We'll start with Joaquin Rodriguez, our kicker, who does a great job of spotting the ball deep into the right corner. You can see a lot of the blocking taking place here in the middle of the field. We got 3 guys to the wide side of the field who are not going to let him get to where he wants to go. You can see they hemming him up, and then there's Jackson Sinney forcing him back to run back over to some unblocked defenders. We got 3 or 4 guys there hemming him up, and we get him trapped on the 12-yard line, which gives our defense, of course, an outstanding situation as they take the field. As you see it a little bit coming, looking at it like Hendrickson does, the kick coming straight down the field. We'll start with Joaquin again, placing the ball deep to our left as we look at it. You can see the blocking of Hendrickson taking place. They're trying to return it to the right, but the kick is so far over, and our guys recognize that the return is coming that way. They begin to bend to the spot, and at this point, the returner knows I can't get where this return is designed to go. So I've got to turn back. Cullen Betsy's on the far left there, sets the edge, forces him into the funnel. He and Mason Livingston, Jackson Sinney all converge on the tackle. Well played by our kickoff coverage team. This is one of our 2 deep ball throws for a touchdown. It's Cooper Douglas, a junior wide receiver, matched up with their cornerback on the lower part of the screen. As the play unfolds, Cooper gets off of press coverage. Now he has an inside or an outside go on the safety. It's his choice. You can see he takes the inside route. There's the ball in the air. It looks initially like it's going to be overthrown. Cooper with one hand reaches up and grabs it, puts the ball away, and has enough speed to break away from the far safety in the corner for a touchdown. Just an outstanding individual effort. You look at the play as the quarterback looks at it. This is actually what you call an RPO, a run-pass option. Our quarterback, Luke Gombert, he can hand the ball off, or he can disengage the ball and make a throw based on that safety's reaction. Luke felt like he played the run, so he pulls the ball out and makes the throw. Cooper then makes the decision to go inside the safety, and then there's that one-hand catch that I talked about, and as you see, he peels away from the backside pursuit, gets it in the corner of the end zone. Just an explosive play. Speaking of explosive plays, on defense, we'll focus on Cullen Betsy, one of our senior cornerbacks here on the lower part of the screen. He's isolated. They do a little pump fake and then try to run by him. Cullen is not fooled. You can see he's in great shape as the ball comes out. He actually looks like the receiver. The ball comes out of the air, makes a tremendous catch in traffic. Not only stops their deep ball, but turns the ball over to the Rangers. Here it is from the rear. Once again, there's Cullen in great position. Ball's coming out. Almost looks like a wide receiver as it comes out of the sky. Just a big play, and anytime you get takeaways, you're in great shape. Speaking of explosive plays, Greg Eggleston, our senior receiver, had plenty of them the other night. Because of the success in the running game, you can see that Hendrickson has a lot of guys in and near the line of scrimmage playing the run, which puts Greg matched up one-on-one against their cornerback, who is also circled. As the play unfolds, he simply runs a streak route. He can go inside or outside the corner. He goes inside, as you can see. Luke leads him perfectly, never breaks stride. And of course, we know Greg has a lot of speed, be difficult to catch. 85-yard touchdown. From the rear, you see the pass protection part of it, the part that goes overlooked. Austin Howell, number 44, a fullback on the left. Devin Smith, another senior left tackle. You watch them provide a cup. Devin takes his man inside, Austin takes his man outside. Luke has a big window to throw the ball in. And then there's the throw coming just to the inside as Greg runs away from their cornerback. There's the ball come flying out of the sky. Hard to catch once he gets a step. Touchdown, turns the game in our favor. And those are our plays of the week.
And that'll get a look back at the Rangers' 43-15 win over Pflugerville Hendrickson from this past Friday. Coming up later in the show, we look ahead to Thursday's game against Madison. But up next in Inside Rangers Football, senior moments, Rangers trivia, and more. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Fisher's Neighborhood Market is teaming up with the Smithson Valley Rangers. When you stop to gas up, look for the Ranger Spirit Pump. A portion of sales from this pump will be donated directly to the SV Athletic Booster Club to help out our Rangers. So choose the one that's Ranger Blue and fill up. Fisher's Neighborhood Market is proud to sponsor the Smithson Valley Rangers.
Welcome back to Inside Rangers Football. The preview of Thursday's game versus Madison is coming up, but right now in the show, let's kick it over to Emily Wick with this week's Senior Moments. Emily?
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Brant. Today I'm here with PJ Hunter and Kobe. So, guys, are y'all ready for a little Senior Moments trivia?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Today you are playing for a major award. This is a piece of Ranger Field from the years of 2011 till 2019. So a lot of history on this guy, so y'all better work it.
Yes, ma'am.
Got it? Let's do it. All right, guys, so first question. Y'all ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is a true-false question. Calico cats are always only female.
That is false.
That is false. Very good job. Most people think that that statement is true, but it is false. Did you know, according to the Humane Society, one only in about every 3,000 cats are born male? That's a long shot, right?
I did not know that.
They're actually referred to as money cats because they used to think you could get a whole lot of money for them. They're so rare. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, I've got a football question for y'all. Which NFL team took 32 years to win their first playoff game? Who got it? No, it is not.
Can I go?
Yes, hit your
Browns.
button.
Oh.
PJ.
The 49ers.
No, it is not. Hunter.
The Browns.
It is not the
What?
Browns. It is actually the New Orleans Saints.
Ooh, I never would have guessed. I was gonna think.
Yeah.
I was thinking never would have.
The New Orleans Saints. For a bonus question, who can tell me who the quarterback for the New Orleans Saints is? Hunter?
Brees.
Drew Brees. He's one of my favorites. That's right. Next question. Can anyone tell me where Drew Brees went to high school?
No.
Hunter?
Somewhere in Texas.
Somewhere in Texas.
I don't know.
I'll give y'all a hint. In playoffs, we play them.
Oh, sorry.
PJ?
Was it Lake Travis?
No. Close. I'm going to say close.
Can you give us a hint?
That's it. That's the closest hint I can get.
Colors?
If it's close to Lake Travis, it would be...
No. I want that shirt. I don't know.
Westlake.
Oh.
Yes,
Yeah.
he played for Westlake. So this is an old movie. Hopefully you've seen it. What movie had the line, "There is no crying in baseball"? Kobe?
The Sandlot.
No, it is not. Good try. No one?
I play football.
A League of Their Own.
I don't know that.
Tom Hanks says it. Does anyone know why there wasn't any men playing in that movie, playing professional baseball? And it was all women's teams? Anyone? Because in World War II, they lost so many players that off to the draft that they had to form a women's baseball team. So women's baseball ruled for a little while. Pretty cool, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Next question. Which professional wrestler has the most championships?
Like real wrestler. Real. Fake wrestler.
WWF.
Oh. I couldn't.
Hunter?
Larry Hill.
Anyone? Might as well guess.
No.
Hulk Hogan.
Oh.
Yes.
Duh.
Does anyone know for the next point what the big movement around Hulk Hogan was called back in the 80s? They called it something.
Has anyone gotten this question? I don't know. Are we just not heard right?
Are we not very bright?
Did I not use the
Hulkamania.
Oh.
Yeah, see, you have heard of it. Yes. If there was a dog and he had his own show and he was a detective and he was a cartoon character, Who would he be? Kobe?
Clifford.
No, but that's a really good guess, but Clifford wasn't a detective. He was Emily Elizabeth's best friend.
Oh.
PJ?
Is it Blue's Clues?
It is Blue's Clues! Good job, PJ!
Clifford. Finally got one.
Finally
I'm still at
got
zero.
one. PJ, can you sing me the Blue's Clues theme song?
Absolutely not. It's been 10 years since I've seen that show.
Blue's Clues, Blue's Clues. Y'all remember it? No. Okay. Does anyone remember the host of Blue's Clues?
You would wear the green shirt?
Yeah. Ooh, what was his name?
There was actually two. One replaced the other one. So if you can give me either of their names, you get 2 points.
Oh. I don't even think I was
Gotta
in
be a
school
simple
when I
name.
was watching.
No clue.
Can't tell you.
Nobody?
Blues and
Nobody?
Sam.
Steve or Joe? Yeah,
That was close.
close. Science question. You ready?
Still not.
Who invented the electric light bulb? PJ.
Albert Einstein.
No.
Oh.
Not Albert Einstein. Boys.
I was gonna say the same thing.
It was a
It's the middle of summer.
different scientist.
It was a different scientist.
Oh, I think
Gotta
it
be
was Einstein.
scientist.
Dude. Oh.
I don't know why I don't know this.
Y'all probably learned it in elementary school, so it's been a little while.
Just a little bit.
Anyone?
I think I know.
Okay.
Thomas Edison.
Yes. Kobe, good job. Thomas Edison. Very good.
I'm at 0.
Can anyone tell me something else he invented? Anyone? Anyone?
What does it do with the lightning?
Hunter?
Light switch. No, I'm kidding.
The phonograph. That's a good one. Do y'all know what a phonograph is? For 2 points, can anyone tell me what a phonograph is? Hunter?
It's like where you beep in and like it sends messages to each other.
I'm so glad I didn't say that.
I think you're talking about Morse code.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Anyone?
Photograph.
A phonograph was a big opening, like a horn, and you would turn the crank and talk into it, and then you could play your voice back. It's kind of the first recording. Yeah, pretty cool, huh?
I did not know that.
All right, guys, I am really sad to say that our time has come to an end. PJ, you are our winner today, though. Can you pass that down to him?
Very much.
I am very, very excited. All right, guys. Coach Brant, thanks. Back to you.
Well, Emily wearing a helmet, she's such a big Rangers fan. Coach, I feel like that was only a matter of time.
Well, she, like a lot of them, love to be out there, but I don't know how she'd stand up under the face of a rush. Maybe she wouldn't like that quite as much, but we appreciate Emily. She might need to stick to broadcasting.
Yeah, I think Coach wants her to stick to her day job. Well, I'll tell you what, that again was this week's Senior Moments. Now time for this week's Rangers Trivia. This week in Rangers Trivia, Smithson Valley faces Madison this Thursday from Hero Stadium, a place the Rangers have only played at once before, posting a district win 10 years ago in 2009. Who did the Rangers defeat that night? Is the answer A, Reagan, B, MacArthur, or C, Madison? The answer is B, MacArthur. The Rangers defeated the Brahmas 21-6 at Hero Stadium in 2009, a game that saw Robert Mecki rush for over 130 yards while the Smithson Valley defense intercepted MacArthur quarterback Clinton Killow 3 times in a District 26 5A win. And yes, a little surprising that Smithson Valley has only played at Hero Stadium once before, the first year that the stadium was open in 2009. It was that 21-6 win over MacArthur. Coach, do you happen to remember that game?
I remember we hit him with a reverse play. A little Rinkin boy went around left in there and got him. I remember that part, and remember what a nice venue it was, locker rooms, stadium, field itself, and kids are looking forward to going back to it.
That's right. The second ever visit for Smithson Valley to Hero Stadium is coming up this Thursday. They take on Madison. A game we'll preview coming up next on Inside Rangers Football.
Many tales have been told of Africa, but none like this. This is our story. This is Serengeti.
Watch Discovery, GVTC, Channel 554.
Welcome back to Inside Rangers Football. Again, Smithson Valley this Thursday taking on the Madison Mavericks. And Coach, kind of a renewal of an old rivalry with Madison. You were in a district with the Mavericks for a number of years, and you made a point to schedule Madison in non-district over the past several seasons. Why was it important for you to keep that series going?
Well, you know, we did have some monumental games against them. You mentioned in district play, oftentimes for the district championship. I think 3 different times we circled all the way back to each other and played in the quarterfinals. So played them twice in the same year. That happened a few times. And we, of course, had them in non-district, as you mentioned. And so we probably have played them and Judson as much as anybody around. And it's always a competitive game. They have such a great program, great tradition, great fan support. And it's always a great atmosphere to play them.
Now you look at Madison this year, they're 1-1, lost in the opener against Clemens 28-0, but then bounced back to beat Austin Bowie this past Friday 55-37. So the offense made a lot of strides from week 1 to week 2. Granted, Clemens is a very good defense, but when looking at this Madison offense, what stands out?
Well, you know, the first week they moved the ball quite well against Clemens. You know, 2 long drives that resulted in missed field goals and another long drive that they turned the ball over down in the red zone. And, you know, the score is a little misleading as far as how well they played offensively. But then last week against Bowie continued to move the ball, particularly on the ground. And their propensity of scoring from a long way out, the one-play 70-yard run, that showed itself 3-4 times. And obviously that's a big concern of ours, something we've got to get on top of.
I remember the past couple of years you had to get ready for Dante Higgins, a great dual-threat quarterback for Madison, but you look at what they did last week, over 600 yards of offense, over 500 on the ground alone, as you mentioned, and they have 4 different rushers with over 100 yards rushing in that game. There's not really one focal point when it comes to defending that offense, is there?
No, there's not, and they've got they do a nice job with variety in their run game, so it's not one person, as you mentioned, or even one scheme that you've got to stop, and it's a well thought out, well coached plan, and we've got a work cut out for us.
Now you look at the 2 defenses that you faced so far in the season, in Minden Lee and Pflugerville-Hendrickson. Both are big, physical, athletic defenses. Madison, I assume, is probably built out of the same kind of mold.
Yeah, they are. You know, they're very active up front defensively, roll a lot of guys in the D-line, keeping those guys fresh, and they're very disruptive. Their outside linebackers are very good against both the run and the pass, and they're a little multiple. They can cause some confusion on blocking patterns. So, you know, our offensive line's got their work cut out for them, both during the week in practice, trying to learn what to do against the multiple alignments, and then blocking some good players on Thursday night.
What is the challenge of playing on a short week like this?
Well, you know, you've got to decide what to do without. Obviously, you have one less day. You can't do everything unless you want to practice 6 hours a day or meet, you know, 24/7. So what are we going to meet on? What are we going to do? What shifts to a meeting because we don't have time on the field? How much is too much so you're not dead-legged at game time? An earlier kickoff, a late arriving crowd, which usually goes with an earlier kickoff. There's just some things like that we've got to make our players aware of. But Madison has the same short week, so, you know, we have no disadvantage there.
Every game has its own importance. You look at this season so far, Minden Lee was a season opener, a chance for you to see what you're made of coming out of the gate. Last week, your home opener. This week, it is the final test you have before the beginning of 26-6A play. From that standpoint, how significant is Thursday night?
Well, it is significant. I mean, obviously, it gets us no advantage as far as district standings. That'll come the next week. But preparation for 26-6A, just trying to get better every time you go out there, because our players are fully aware of the level they have to play at to have a shot in 26-6A. And Madison is the same caliber team as those district foes. So, you know, just trying to sharpen your tools, you know, and we'll be up against it, but we're looking forward to the challenge.
What do you see being the biggest keys to Thursday's game?
I think stopping their explosives. We mentioned, how many long runs for touchdowns they had the other night. Limiting or stopping those. And then I think we got to continue with our run game because it makes our pass game so much better when we're able to control the line of scrimmage. So that'll be a big key for us too.
All right, thanks, Coach, and good
All
luck.
right. Thank you, Brant.
Again, it is Smithson Valley versus Madison this Thursday from Hero Stadium in San Antonio. Looking forward to the game. For head coach Larry Hill, I'm Brant Freeman. This has been Inside Rangers Football. We'll catch you next time.